Will do. Mayor, we're ready.
Thank you. Welcome to the July 10th, 2023 Board of Aldermen meeting. I now call this meeting to order and would ask everyone to rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would ask the city clerk to call roll for attendance.
Alderman Allen. Alderman Even. Here. Alderman Francisco. Here. Alderman Hughes. Here. Alderman Kinsella.
Here.
Alderman Schwer.
Here.
And Alderman Weezahan.
Here.
We have no one absent. Mayor Ream is presiding, and we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We have a variety of minutes to approve. First one is from the 6/12/23 regular meeting. Seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion or amendment? All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Passed unanimously. Thank you. From the 6/26/23 fax meeting, seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion or amendment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passed unanimously. And then from the 6/26/23 annual workshop, seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Any discussion or amendment? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Are there any citizens who have asked to speak?
No, sir.
Public hearing, we'll read this without my glasses. A public hearing to consider a zoning code amendments related to the regulation of comprehensive and medical marijuana related uses, section 405.080, section 405.227, section 405.560, section 405.630, section 405.865, section 405.951, and section 405.1330. I now declare the public hearing open and would ask the city clerk to enter exhibits.
Exhibit number 1 is affidavit of publication of notice of hearing, published in the St. Louis County on June 23rd, 2023. Exhibit number 2 is typewritten notice of hearing, posted at the Municipal Center, on the city's website, sent via Notify Me, posted in the lobby. And exhibit number 3 is 2334.
Thank you. I would invite City Planner Mr. Ryan Spencer to the podium to answer any questions. Are there any questions or discussion? Alderman Weezahan.
Thank you. Just a quick clarification, I guess, for a proposal like this. This is more just to codify state law, and it's not really something that we would have any input on, right?
Correct. It's the conversion of our regulations related to medical marijuana to now encompass comprehensive marijuana, recreational and medical. So nothing changes how we regulate it, time, place, manner, it's all the same. Our buffer of 1,000 feet from daycare, schools, churches is the same. So it's basically, now we're just in line with state law as it was approved through Amendment 3 back in November.
All right, thank you.
Are there any members of the public that wish to comment? I now declare the public hearing closed. Next appointments. Without objection, I would like to appoint 3 additional residents to serve as alternates on the Veterans and First Responders Task Force. The alternates will count towards the making of a quorum, but at no point will greater than 7 people serve at a time to increase the number needed to hold a meeting. Can I get a motion to appoint Jim Conrad, Ron Jottis, and Ray Murphy to the Veterans and First Responders Task Force?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? At this point, I would recognize the board's opportunity to provide any reports that they would wish to do. Alderman Allen.
Thank you, Mayor. The task force for the tribute for military first responders will have a upcoming meeting this Wednesday at 11:30 at Longview Park.
Thank you. Alderman Weezahan.
The Police Fire EMS Commission will meet next Tuesday, the 18th at 4:30 p.m. In the community room.
Alderman Francisco.
Thank you, Mayor. The Drake's playground equipment is expected to arrive next week, so that's very exciting, and install will hopefully take place the week after that. The recent pavilion fire that we had is not going to impact anything to do with playground equipment, so we don't need to review all that. And we are following up with insurance, the city is in regards to that. We had an open house on June 18th to solicit feedback from the community on the case for Preservation Park. It was well attended. There was some great information on that. And we have our next Parks and Girls meeting next Monday, July 17th. And SWT will have some new plans for us based on that feedback. Longview Playground replacement is starting to start in September. And then finally, our canceled May outdoor concert has been rescheduled for September 8th. So we'll have consecutive Friday night concerts, the 8th and then on September 15th. So that's a great September for those who love outdoor music.
Very
That's it.
good news.
Okay.
And Mr. Shelton has a report.
Thank you, Mayor. As Alderman Francisco mentioned, unfortunately, we did have a fire. The Drace Park Pavilion was completely burned down. As also stated, we filed with the insurance company, begun the cleanup. Also, the Public Works, in cooperation with our police department, is working on having the gates improved so that they can lock in the evenings. So we've implemented that to prevent vehicles from entering the Drace Park. Also related to the fire, as you may have noticed in our update to you all, we have a container in the back, and I did see some people taking their fireworks to that container and dumping them in there. So that's good, and we want to be sure people know that if they have fireworks that haven't been lit off, take them there and dispose of them so they don't get accidentally cause damage like that happen.
Mr. Shelton, can I ask, because I know that the three, I guess, extremely unhappy youths that have been apprehended, was that basically because of surveillance cameras that were able to identify them, or was it for other reasons that we were able to apprehend them?
I'll have the chief correct me if I'm wrong, but surveillance in connection, our surveillance at the park in connection with the flock camera on Clayton Road,
Okay.
which had a little bit better clarity than but the surveillance definitely did get it started.
Body camera also.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our detectives doing fantastic work.
They absolutely do.
A little bit of clarification also, when I sent you, the ladder truck has been moved into Station 3 based on the commitment for the increased capital next year. It is a 75-foot ladder. I think I had in there 1.75 and 165. It's a 75-foot ladder truck until the new 109-foot comes in. So a little clarification. And my last item is that we had several residents, unfortunately, without power over the 4th of July weekend. And so we've begun contacting Ameren to look into opportunities, if there are any, to bury utility lines. So we will be providing updates on those.
Thank you.
Thank you. There is some disadvantages to having a lot of trees and things. I like it. Unfinished business, bill number 23-30. It's about Alderman Even. Without objection, would the city clerk read the bill for the second time?
Bill number 2330 is an ordinance approving a conditional use and authorizing a conditional use permit for outside dining at Cleaver and Cocktails located at 13360 Clayton Road, Suite 104 in the city of Town and Country.
I seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Any discussion? Ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Even.
Aye.
Alderman Allen. Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Schwer.
Aye.
Alderman Francisco. Alderman Weasahan.
Aye.
And Alderman Kinsella. The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number, stand by one moment. 4577.
Next, bill number 23-31, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would the city clerk read the bill for the second time?
Bill number 2331 is an ordinance approving an intergovernmental master agreement between the Regional Justice Information Service Commission and the City of Town and Country for the implementation, maintenance, and service of a regional computer-aided dispatching system.
Thank you. I seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or amendment? I would ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Weasahan.
Aye.
Alderman Hughes. Alderman Kinsella. Alderman Allen. Alderman Even. Alderman Francisco.
Aye.
And Alderman Schwer.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4578.
Thank you. Next, bill number 23-32, sponsored by Alderman Kinsella. Without objection, would the city clerk read the bill for the second time?
Bill number 2332 is an ordinance amending Title IV, Chapter 410, the subdivision regulations of the Town and Country Municipal Code, specifically by the amendment of Section 410.200 regarding street standards and specifications.
I seek a motion and second to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or amendment? I would ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Kinsella. Alderman Allen. Alderman Francisco. Alderman Even. Alderman Weasahan.
Aye.
Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
And Alderman Schwer.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4579.
Next, bill number 23-33, also sponsored by Alderman Kinsella. Without objection, would the city clerk read the bill for the second time?
Bill number 2333 is an ordinance repealing and replacing Exhibit A, titled Guidelines for Acceptance of Private Streets for Maintenance by the City of Town and Country, as originally set forth in ordinance number 1985 and later amended by ordinance numbers 3482 and 4069.
Thank you. I seek a motion and second to approve.
Second.
Any discussion or amendment? I would ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Francisco. Alderman Kinsella. Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Allen. Alderman Even. Alderman Schwer.
Aye.
And Alderman Weasahan.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4580.
Thank you. Moving on to new business. The first is approval of liquor licenses as distributed in the packet. I seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion or amendment? Alderman Allen.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a question, since it's frequently, don't we approve these July 1st? And so have those two businesses that we're approving, have they been without, or did they have later renewals?
They had to serve watered down drinks for 2 weeks. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
So for those two, the one did not submit their material in time. The second one was a mistake on my part. It was paper clipped to another one. And they did submit theirs. But the other two that are still on the list have not submitted paperwork in order to get theirs renewed yet.
Thank you.
And if they do, Joanne, if they do submit it at some point, what is the process in terms of how soon they can be permitted to resume alcohol sales or start alcohol sales? I mean, do they have to wait for another board meeting, or can this be done on the fly? I'm not
It
sure.
cannot be done on the fly. It requires board approval, and that's why I tried to push to get the information from them, and I even for some of them that didn't submit, I knew that there was only one board meeting in June, so I was pushing hard to get all of them by that first board meeting in June. So unfortunately, that's the situation with these two.
have to follow the rules, I just wanted to know.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Mayor,
Yes.
for the record, before you call for a vote on this one, I just want to state it for anyone watching, since we just referenced it as distributed in the packet. The ones we're approving tonight would be Fresh Idea Management and Dave's World Famous. The two that we're discussing that have not submitted at this point are Classic Red Hots and John Minio's.
Thank you.
I just want to have that on the record.
Alderman Even.
And given that we've had at least one member of the community that has reached out to ask what's the repercussion and how do we monitor whether or not these businesses are actually serving that don't have approved liquor license. Can someone discuss that for the public that's watching?
So we do not have a proactive investigative team here. Obviously, if somebody complains that they're selling alcohol, we would investigate, but we are not. Notify them that they cannot sell alcohol.
So they have been notified,
Absolutely.
And
right?
should we investigate, or should someone reach out and complain about that? What does that look like for that business as
Then
far
that
as
would be up to
repercussions?
the police department.
And there is what type of repercussions for the business should they be serving alcohol and they are not permitted?
Yeah, they would be summoned, a summoned, alderman even served, and then forwarded to our municipal prosecuting attorney for consideration of fines and fees.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, bill number 23-2034, sponsored passed by the board as a whole, without objection, with the city clerk read the bill for the first time.
Bill number 2334 is an ordinance amending various sections of Chapter 405, the zoning regulations of the municipal code of the city of Town and Country, specifically pertaining to recreational marijuana-related uses.
Bill number 23-34 is continued to the meeting of Monday, July 24th, 2023, for the second reading and consideration. Next, bill number 23-35, also sponsored by the board as a whole, without objection, with the city clerk read the bill for the first time.
Bill number 2335 is an ordinance approving the third amended final site development plan with conditions to be complied with for the Principia located at 13201 Clayton Road, City of Town and Country, Missouri, and authorizing certification of the third amended final site development plan.
Thank you. Bill number 23-35 is continued to the meeting of Monday, July 24th, 2023, for the second reading and consideration. Next, we'll move on to the warrant list this time. Reconfirm the 6/26/23 warrant list previously confirmed via fax meeting. You remember that was to the tune of $207,475.39. Seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Any discussion or amendment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next is the 7/10/23 warrant list in the amount of $314,496.85. Seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Alderman Allen.
Thank you, Mayor. Just had some questions.
Sure.
And I did talk to Mr. Shelton today, had some questions about some of the specifics. So on the Salamander asset management software, as far as that's a grant, and we're pretty sure we'll get 50% back.
Right, it's already been submitted.
That's already been submitted.
Right.
Then as far as the Somerville engineering, that's according to the old program that we had for stormwater, not anything new. The Grace Park, just to remind the new individuals, that is an 80-20 match. So that this end result will be the city 20% of actual dollars.
Right.
Unfortunately, I missed that. Okay, that's all.
Alderman Hughes.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a question on page 2, and this has to do with safety products, the replacement vests for the police department. We ordered, 4, I believe, 3 or 4? 4. And I was just wondering, are they specifically made for each officer? Or could we order like 6 at a time and get a better deal?
They're specifically sized for ballistic protection.
Okay,
We have to go by the manufacturer's renewal date. They're good for 5 years. And then
Okay.
they have to be replaced by manufacturer standards. And then the captain submits for has for a number of years. We get half back in the grant of the
okay,
total
thank you.
purchase.
I
Yep.
appreciate the clarification.
no
Thank you,
problem.
Chief.
Alderman Louisiana.
Just noticed that a couple years ago, we had the issue with water at Town Square, and I noticed it was back up again too. I thought that was resolved.
Do you know, Ann? I haven't.
It's irrigation.
Okay,
It's been dry.
yeah, no, I just remember we had that issue.
We did look at one point, and I know we compared it to all of the others, and there were more irrigation heads out in that area than there were at any of our other facilities.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have no other business to bring up tonight, but I will ask the Alderman if I have anything else they wish to say. And I seek a motion to close the meeting pursuant to section 610.021 and 13 revised statutes of Missouri to discuss legal actions, personnel, and attorney-client privilege communications. Is there a second?
I need a first on that and a second, but before we go, I just want to clarify, we would be closing pursuant to 610.021, subsections 1, 3, and 13. And I need a motion and a second on that.
Second. Okay.
There was
Any
enough.
discussion? I'd ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Even. Alderman Francisco. Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Kinsella. Alderman Schwer. And Alderman Weezahan. It carries unanimously, and for the record, the board will not return to open session.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Good to see the city staff.